You know, I love my people. I wouldn't want to be anything but a black man. If God asked me in the next life what race I want to come back as, I'm picking black every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But I feel like some of us should be slaves again.
We tackling the negrosity of IShowSpeed on today's Foreign Friday.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
IShowSpeed gets gifted cotton.
What is this?
It's a cotton. Look.
Cotton?
Cotton.
I never got gifted cotton.
You are Lapineo? Yeah. Cristiano, my friend.
Why do you give me cotton?
Yeah.
W give, chat.
It's my love. It's my love.
W give. Bro, y'all be gifting me anything in China, bro.
You're probably wondering why. In 2025, a black man is not only being gifted a bouquet of cotton, but if you can see, is literally picking it rather than punching this man in the face. And the closer you look, the worse it gets.
Bro, I'm not gonna cap.
Thank you.
Speed is literally thanking this man for his racism. Thanking him by saying, dub gif to the chat, who is entertained by a black man being racially harassed on stream. The men are also recording this man.
I know, bro. I'm not gonna cap.
Thank you.
Look at the bite. Taking pictures. Taking pictures with the cotton. This ain't the first time I got a bouquet of cotton, you know. Black man gifted cotton at work. They gift this man cotton too.
That's for sure. You recording? Record this.
See it.
Oh, that's crazy. Bruh, where Mr. Richards at, bruh? I'm done. That got me messed up.
This is the correct reaction to being gifted cotton. You see niggas in the comment section, Bob SEB defending getting cotton. I hope he gets the day he deserves. But this is the correct reaction to getting cotton sent to you at your job. That's essentially what Speed is doing. But instead of going to the HR of life, like this man did, Speed says,
W give, chat.
That's what Speed says. This is a good observation. First, you have to buy cotton. This don't look like just like cotton swabs that you have to go and dab alcohol in. Someone got unprocessed cotton, stuck it in a bouquet. How can you even get raw, untreated cotton? You know, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I get mad at this. Cause like, I had to deliberately put that together. So it's a systemic level of racism. And you have to find a man that is willing to put this in a bouquet. And I asking questions if I put in cotton in a bouquet. Bespoke cotton bouquet. And you could see Speed is grimacing. Look at this. He's not happy. He knows this is racist. But that's the point. Minstrelsy is his ministry. IShowSpeed is the most successful minstrel beta in streaming. But before we get into what exactly that means, let's look at the rise of Speed. Speed gets mad because his homie is laughing at him.
I'm lagging, bro. Get some shit, dog. I'm about to just, you know what, I'm fine, bro. I want to do this so bad on my mama, bro. I'm about to just do this. So you stay, every time I play with you, every time I get mad, your ass stay laughing. It's the reason why I don't play with your ass now. When I get mad, just mute your mic. That get on my nerve. Mute the mic when I get mad.
Like Illuminati, Flight Reacts, and most of the black streaming oligarchy of today, IShowSpeed got his start playing 2K Live during the pandemic.
It's common sense. Your ass always laughing. Damn, your fat ass. Shut up.
Much like Kai, who we covered last week in the Black Streamer series, 2K Live was ground zero for most of the black streaming community. And it's important to note the medium in understanding the message here. Water fits the shape of what it is in. So much of the toxicity that exists in the 2K community in general naturally engendered the black streamers that we see today. And that's how you get an IShowSpeed. And you may see some of the things that like you've come to know and maybe even like enjoy about Speed right here. The rage that distorts the cheap headset microphone that folks like Flight Reacts and Illuminati pioneered years before him.
Damn! Wanna play with your ass now? You always laughing.
You can see here that Speed plays into this parody of blackness already in how he overreacts to someone laughing at him online. It's a reminder of a Foucaultian panopticon and surveillance theory that suggests that just being aware of you being surveilled prompts us as people to behave differently than we would if we weren't being surveilled. The way that Speed is reacting might very well be him playing it up because he knows that he's being watched. Speed probably wouldn't react this way had he just been playing online off stream. But because he knows he's being watched, what is a peccadillo of someone laughing at him while he's playing on stream is now a violation. But those reactions ballooned his popularity into millions of subscribers. Is it crazy that I think he chooses his camera angles to accentuate his features for minstrelsy? That is such a good point. He does tend to cross his eyes and perform almost ableistly. He would start convulsing like he was having a seizure or stuff like that. This is a great way to showcase it. This is the Kylie Jenner challenge. The Kylie Jenner challenge was basically this thing where you try to get lips like Kylie Jenner. And it's wild that it's called the Kylie Jenner challenge because given that Kylie's lips themselves aren't even naturally like that. She just did that to get closer to a parody of black women like most of the Kardashian family did by augmenting their asses to get closer to Sarah Bartman-esque assets. But that's a whole nother conversation. Some may think that Speed is just engaging in a harmless trend in order to entertain his audience of 11-year-olds. But I think most folks with a couple brain cells to rub together know exactly what this looks like. Where have we seen this before? It's literally a minstrel. Oh God. From this to this. What's The Office mean? They're the same picture. He's essentially creating memes that will yet again terrorize black community. Like people spam this in TikTok comment section of black people speaking. I have seen faceless anime profile picture accounts using this picture in the comment section of black people speaking about serious shit. Look at this. These things matter. The way in which we create media by even streaming, like this moment right here, could then be turned into something that could be used as weapon fodder against maybe not you, but yes, also Speed. We will get into it. But it also is turned into weapon fodder for people that don't subscribe to this level of Coonery, that don't subscribe to being a minstrel online. So you will have a black person making a very serious commentary and then they get this in here. And this is but a paucity of the anti-blackness Speed would use as a method to grow as a streamer. I can't believe I'm about to read this caption. IShowSpeed does ASMR with watermelon. I'm not one for respectability politics. Like, it don't matter if I dress up in a suit. There was gonna be someone out there to call me a porch at the end of the day.
Fastest chicken eater ever.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Speed world record. Head exploding emoji, chicken emoji.
Fastest chicken eater ever. Watch this. I'm about to eat this chicken so fast. Just watch. Let's see what KFC sent me, man. Let's see what KFC sent me. Are ready to see? What the fuck? They gave me a hat, a Kentucky Fried Chicken, finger licking good, and they gave me a fried chicken. Oh my God! And they gave me a KFC jacket, pajamas too. Oh my God, so they gave me some pajamas too, bro. And they gave me chicken, and they gave me a chicken bag. Where the fried chicken at though? And they gave me a cup, they gave me a handbag, and they gave me a whole, bro, chat. Hold on, let me read it. Hello, IShowSpeed. I heard you're a big fan at us at our corporate organization. We realize that you always show support to our KFC chicken. We will be serving you free chicken every time you want to go to KFC. Just scan this coupon and you free fried chicken forever! Free fried chicken forever! Free KFC forever! Yeah. Yo, shall we get free fried chicken forever, bro? I think we gotta put on the jacket, y'all. Nah, chat, y'all, nah, bro. Nah, chat, this is actually
oh God. I didn't think it was gonna actually be this bad. There's no way that this actually happened, bro. This have to be some AI, dog. This have to be some AI. There ain't no way, bro. This the most This the most shocking and jiving I've seen since Amos and Andy. This man will go on to become one of the most successful streamers in the world. He tap danced his way into success. Jesus Christ, I know Reagan just doing backflips. Speed built a content strategy based on black stereotypes. Speed built his bondage with barking, inflating his lips, and dressing up as a KFC mascot. This bondage is his business. A business that he is trying to mature out of, but you have the crank that effect happening right now. I call it the crank that effect, but essentially once you're famous for being a minstrel in this case, no matter what you do afterwards, your hit song eclipses everything else. No matter everything that Speed is most recently known for right now, like, you know, him saying Free Palestine or him jumping over cars. There's a subset of his audience that is built specifically off of him minstreling himself. King Bach is one of the OG minstrels of the internet age. He is to Vine, TikTok, and YouTube what Amos and Andy is to American culture. Because American culture, for folks that don't know, American entertainment is based off of minstrelsy. Amos and Andy was one of the first forms of entertainment, period. When you think about that, it makes sense. Because everything entertainment-wise that America has built in its industry, from Hollywood to new entertainment like streaming right now, it all goes back down to minstrelsy. It's important to note just how interconnected racism is to everything. And when you have situations like this, you see it very plainly.
Speed gets trolled at 13 million subs and starts barking.
I can't, bro. Why are they doing this, bro?
One of Speed's trademarks is literally him barking like a dog. I mean, y'all did see how he just gave his microphone to Gawk Gawk 3002. That's just another one. He did just deep throat the mic. One of his trademarks is him barking like a dog. A trait we will see soon backfires on him. But he barked his way into millions of subscribers by performing a dehumanizing brand of blackness that literally likens us to dogs. After however long we have fought for our enfranchisement to be seen as people, you have some folks that will perform dogs for probably pubescent white children. Arrest his mama, because this cannot be. We about to get to his mom in a second. You may notice a interesting psychological phenomenon here, which is the fact that his chat is antagonizing him by subscribing and unsubscribing so that he could perform the outrage that he's become famous for. The same outrage that he was doing here, he is now doing it here. This is negative reinforcement. Essentially, Speed has created a ritual where his audience expects particular behavior from their stimulus, which unfortunately, in this case, is barking or gagging on a goddamn microphone. It is literally dance, monkey dance. Think about that. His chat has organized themselves to troll this black boy into success. It reminds me of Dabo or Cuff'em with the ugly farming method, where they put themselves in situations to have people oogle, I don't know how you say that word, oogle, at their perceived ugliness. Speed is doing the same thing, but just with anti-blackness. Now, there's the bright side to Speed. Even I bought into the propaganda that Speed is growing, Speed is changing. He was just a clown before, but now he's maturing a little bit. Stick a pin in that.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh my God, we're down.
I'd be remiss not to mention a unique and clever aspect of Speed, which is his IRL streaming strategy. Speed transitioned from desktop streaming and began doing IRL streaming before many other people found it viable. And that allowed him to showcase his athleticism as well as develop this character arc with him idolizing football. Not American football, but football. In this case, football legend Ronaldo. It allowed him to get into this method of spectacle, which is his athletic. last one I don't know about. The spectacle of black athleticism. In another life, Speed is a D1 athlete making millions playing on a field, which is another form of blaxploitation. I mean, because like Jack Trice was trampled in a field in Iowa. What kind of football players have CTE? You just swap in one field for another. And there's an argument that Speed isn't much different because while he isn't a professional athlete, he does monetize his athletic spectacle. The nuance is he is very talented in it. And if you're gonna commodify your athletic talent, it's good that there's no middleman or NCAA pimping him out while he gets pennies on the back end, because that's the majority of collegiate athletes don't get access to any type of money that they're supposed to be, making. That there's the fruits of their labor. Their coaches and the colleges in general absolutely exploit a lot of these kids. It's good that there's no middleman pimping him out and he's actually able to exploit his own work. However, he's putting himself in danger at worst, or simply prostrating his athleticism at best. And this ain't new. I mean, like, you have Jackass that is literally a stunt show, and the spirit of Jackass lives on in streamers like Speed, or even how Plackboy Max and Ty Lil just get injured for doing dangerous stunts on stream. There's a delectability. There's this deliciousness, a reptilian release that white people and even some black people get from seeing black pain or black people in proximity to pain. So when you look at an image like this, something like that, the conflict, the mechanism of which makes this entertaining is the promised danger, the tangible promise of a danger for the person doing this. Think about the way that we forward police brutality videos, or we post police brutality videos all over Twitter. Think of like World Star, hip hop. It was a business built on monetizing black fights. You have like a whole industry of humiliating black women, as well as the only way to get an Emmy or acclaim from Hollywood is to make a slave movie, a slave or hood movie that showcases black people in or in proximity to pain. Black bloodshed is a business. And if not blood, then the suggestion of it is enough. And Speed showcasing his athletic talents like this is at worst edging white genitalia to black trauma. At best, Speed is successful with his athleticism in cases like this, and that just plays into the fetishization of the black body. That's how you get sports commentators salivating over the natural athletic adeptitude of black people.
Freddie is one of those, you know that he's got some black in him, but how much? How much? What's going on here?
Are you asking me to strip Joe Rogan now?
What are you?
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic-wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go
one of the strongest combinations of all time.
White commentators have constantly marveled at this adeptitude that black people have when it comes to athleticism.
Russell looking for Ferguson in the corner for three. Westbrook is out of his pick and mind.
That exhalation of exceptional athletic performance doesn't exempt racism.
Two African-American quarterbacks starting against each other in the Super Bowl for the first time, fittingly. February 12th is Abe Lincoln's birthday.
I'll just cut right into this. The GPT tells you, because you asked it, that your race or ethnic group is not the most intelligent of all of them, and maybe somewhere down the totem pole, much further than you had anticipated. You may also discover at the same time that there is a totem pole of racial intelligence, and you're going to go, holy, what? You keep asking it, it's like, this is reality. You're like, oh my, do I just stop trying? What is this? Holy crap, that's a really big deal. It could really bum you out.
It's the same mechanism as white people being racist and also having sex with black people. There's no contradiction between saying niggas and niggas. Oh God. Yeah, it was also a justification for slavery. It's also a justification for making breeds of burden of black women. This idea that black women could handle more pain. When people compliment their athletic ability, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a compliment. Bi-directional fetishization. A white person could have black in their mouth in one breath and have the N-word flying out that very mouth in the next. You can hate who you have sex with. Plenty of man them hate women but love panani. So when white folks marvel at Speed's athleticism, the nuance is that those very people could be fetishizing the black body. And fetishization is dehumanization. Not saying that it's wrong to find yourself attracted to the opposite race, to specific features, that's fine. But it is good to question exactly what is the spawn point of that attraction. Especially like if you have a trend of only engaging with particular races or particular, colors, like Chris Brown don't date nothing darker than a brown paper bag. Chris Brown don't want nothing darker than a brown paper bag in his section. One would wonder, inquisitive minds would like to know, Chris, why are you colorist? Isn't baseball mostly white considered more intellectual than team sports? That is interesting. I haven't heard that. But there is a class difference between sports. As a fighter, I know that like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a more expensive fighting style than boxing or wrestling even. Lawyers would practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Wrestlers is what you do with your cousins them at the cookout. Bringing me back to this.
What's this Ronaldo obsession? Where's that come from?
Yes, I do think Ronaldo's the GOAT. He's my inspiration. Ronaldo played in the Premier League, La Liga, and Italia. Messi played in one league.
So why has Messi got more Ballon d'Ors?
I don't understand why a Ballon d'Or defines a player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why. Like, in today's game, I don't think trophies define a player. You know what I'm saying? It's what they do on the field.
By Speed engaging with football specifically, we were talking about classes of sports, with football specifically, it gave him an access to an international audience. While with 2K and basketball being a national spectacle, a lot of Americans don't realize how huge football is internationally. Whether Speed is a huge football fan or not, involving this ongoing character arc of wanting to meet Ronaldo, that gained him an access to an international audience, which catapulted him beyond his colleagues. Because newsflash, America is not the world. I think a lot of streamers realized there's a way bigger audience to access when they saw this dude. He had 8 million people watching his boxing matches. And it also has a commentary on just like how fragmented these individual English subcultures are when it comes to the Spanish communities or international communities outside of this. You have more of like a unification, it seems. America is very isolated when it comes to global consciousness. Speed may have realized very early on, and that behooved him to build an international audience that became essential to his growth and content strategy, which included him traveling the world. So I don't want to minimize how incredible that is, especially for a young black creator in his early 20s to be doing something like that, whether he thought of it or not. But the ghost of his past would come to haunt him because he was traveling the world on stream and his fans would engage with the very anti-blackness he performed in his 2K days that he also levies to people of other races as well. Racism begets racism, lest we forget this clip.
Why you got on Argentina, bro? Konnichiwa? Konnichiwa? No, Chinese? Konnichiwa? Argentina? Chinese? No konnichiwa! Why you trying?
Running up to a random Asian person who will tell you that they're not from the language that you're speaking, and he don't care. Bigotry begets bigotry. Rush Hour was pretty bigoted. And that just goes to show how we are children of the media and the media is children of us. Rush Hour breeds this, and then this breeds more media because now people are consuming this without any reference point probably to Rush Hour because they might not have been born. So this is Rush Hour for my little cousins them. But before we get to this, there's another important part to Speed, which is his family. Speed's mom kicks him out the house. Folks were talking about where's his parents. There might be a reason why the parents weren't around.
Mom, I don't give a...
Alright, okay, alright.
What are you talking about?
Hey, you're good. Hey, you good.
Hey, chill. Well, you chill.
Stop!
I mean it. No, you stop.
Hello?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and I love you so much. Did she just hang up the phone on me, bro?
As a creator of color and now a parent, I feel both Speed and to a lesser extent his mom. Ultimately, you want to prepare your child for the world the best that you know how to. I like to think that the majority of parents don't intend to inflict harm upon their children, that harm is more so a byproduct of their attempt to protect their children. You see this a lot when homophobic parents see homosexuality in their children. And this is also another interesting aspect. I was thinking about that just now, like when he called her and said Happy Mother's Day and like hung up the phone on her, thinking about if his mom is a part of his content, which is interesting in itself. You just don't know. That's the Cartesian doubt of being in this post-social media age where you kind of resign or withdraw some empathy because you don't know if it's real. But a lot of parents try to protect their children from the world. And one of those preparations is making sure that your child is able to develop skills that are commodifiable. They want you to develop skills that are commodifiable because we live in a capitalist society and you want your child to be able to survive when you're eventually gone. Even more so, as a single mother, I'm sure Speed's mom is maybe overcompensating due to her experience having to potentially handle the entire household herself. She might be hypersensitive to seeing her child potentially put himself in a career path that is that volatile and might not make any money. And maybe she's overworked and tired and then sees her son here screaming at a goddamn computer screen, barking and whatnot. I busted my ass. You got to do something. Especially the way how like mothers engage with sons. You got to step up and be the man of the house because the man of the house ain't here. I understand all of that. But there's like many different ways as parents we kill parts of our children because we rather hurt them now before the world hurts them first. Speed's mom kicking him out because Speed chose a career that she didn't necessarily see as commercially viable is her trying to protect her son from the world that he's going to go into. My parents did a similar thing. That's why I have a master's degree and student debt doing a job that one would argue I didn't need my degree for. I don't regret my degrees, but I do regret not following my dreams earlier because I would have done it anyway. I would probably do this even if I didn't get paid for it. That being said, Speed made a bold decision insofar as continuing to do this despite his mom's best wishes.
Mom kicked me out of my house at 14. I moved in with my dad. I moved to Michigan. I was lonely. I was depressed. Nobody takes or called me. The people in these pictures didn't text or call me. I was just focused on YouTube. I was just doing YouTube every single day. I was just a lonely guy. I had no friends. Nobody takes or call me. Nah, bro. Don't be embarrassed of your mother. Don't be embarrassed of your mother.
Today's your birthday.
Today's your birthday?
It's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, let's take a picture, bro. You have a good mother, bro.
As I was streaming, there was a clip that kind of blown up. It was on Warstar. You remember Warstar, right? It wasn't like it didn't go viral. It had like maybe 30,000 viewers. So my dad showed my mom, because my dad watches Warstar. My mom seen the video. She's like, "What are you doing? Blah, blah. Why is everybody talking about you like online, blah, blah, blah?" Because it was like hate comments. So she kicked me out. No, she told me to quit.
Yeah.
Or I'm leaving. Like, you know, or like you can't do this in my house. So I'm like, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. You know, like I'm not about to stop. Like I was already averaging like 20 viewers. I had like 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs.
Right.
Like I'm already going. So I like, and once I start something, I'm not stopping.
I have a lot of thoughts about this. I mean, one, the tenacity that it takes to go out on your own into a very volatile career path that there's no roadmap for this. There's no college program to learn how to do what we do. Not many people can make a living out of this. The people that you see are anomalies of what streaming, content creation, all of this is. You only see the successful people in streaming. You don't see the majority of people that don't get any viewership by design. Like you don't see them. I see like chat is kind of divided on this, right? As a parent and as a content creator, I would not have handled it the way that the mom did it. This form of content creation where he's eating fried chicken, doing watermelon ASMR, calling people monkeys, calling people out their name, bastardizing his blackness. I get the argument as it pertains to not only is that like a disgrace to maybe you, maybe to himself, but also you know what a digital footprint can entail. And if this don't work out, this nigga gotta get a job at the end of the day. And you thinking he's shooting himself in the foot before he even get a chance to walk. So dub mom for necessarily saying that that's a dangerous thing to do, that's a dangerous game you're playing. Dub mom for that. She didn't necessarily communicate that to him in a way that would nurture him, that would get him to understand why what he's doing isn't necessarily the right thing. And to be honest, maybe if the mom had the tools, because yet again, she's a victim of whatever she would have gone through as a pertains to her parenting styles. That's the ghost of the cradle. Whatever you as a parent have been parented, you end up parenting your child at. So she's only able to exist in the limitations of where she got the parenting. And maybe if she did have the tools to recognize, one, my child is doing something he's passionate about, let me figure out a way how to nurture that, but at the same time protect him. If she had the tools, maybe there's a version of IShowSpeed that skipped the minstrelsy. The solution isn't to kick the child out the house. The child that isn't accepted by their village will burn it down to feel its warmth. So who knows? Maybe the mom dissenting against his passion, maybe the way that the mom reacted to it might have been, he was doing the shit anyway. Oh God. He was doing the shit before she did that. Maybe there's a reality that Speed doesn't necessarily go down this dissension of minstrelsy. We're gonna get to the dad in a second. Y'all chill. What you have here in regards to Speed taking a risk on himself is a very interesting thing. Many people cannot make a living off of content creation, so whether it was fully or foolhardy, Speed took a risk for himself and it paid off against the wishes of his mom. Furthermore, you see a rarity in a mother seemingly telling their child that you're not going to be in this house if you're doing what you're doing. The popular trope is that the deadbeat dad that went out for cigarettes and never came back. However, Speed went to live with his father, who encouraged him to continue on his path. This may be surprising to a lot of folks in the States, to see a black man, a black father, taking his son in a full custody capacity. A lot of people might find that surprising because they subscribe to this idea, this popular propaganda about absent black fatherhood. And I live in the Bahamas, and let me tell you something, it's a very US-centric discussion of which I has turned the song down. My reality is my black father, who is very much in my life, still is in my son's life as an amazing grandfather. And I had many examples of amazing black paternal figures. While there is a reality where black fathers are not in the home, or they mimic their former slave masters in birthing children only to abandon them, I'm not erasing the yam-haired dads that are out there. They exist. There are single mothers who are struggling to take care of their children. I don't want to diminish that reality, but understand that there's a lot of generational propaganda, all created to sow this type of narrative. There ain't nothing more abandoning and baby mama-ing than a white slave master. Oh God. You had at one point black women in the same cells with white men, and then white men would those black women would have children of which those men did not claim. In fact, there was a specific law that made it so that they did not have to claim them. So you have a whole legion of children, not even talking about the breeding farms, not even talking about the transatlantic, but I'm talking about after all of that. And black women were still seen as animals, and therefore black women were in the same jails as white men that committed crimes. And those white men continued to commit crimes and black women, and then those black women would have to give birth in jails as a thing that happened. It's interesting to see in this case how a mother gave her son the ultimatum to get out if they didn't follow their instructions. It reminds me about how much of parenting is about control, not nurturing. And as much as we don't like to admit it, a lot of mothers are makers of patriarchy in their children. They are the lecturers that inculcate those scripts of how to be a man in these young boys. But knowing that Speed's mom kicked him out made me wonder how exactly that manifested in his maturation. Did it in any way contribute to his perspective on women? The clip that got IShowSpeed permanently banned.
Man, you gotta hit those shots, man.
Man, shut your stupid up. Who's you talking to, bro? Shut your nerd up, bro. I know how to play this game. Shut up, monkey. Shut up. Shut your ass up. Alright?
You're at the bar.
Alright?
Calm down.
Damn, bro. Shut up, bro. I know how to play this game. I'm not a noob, alright? God damn.
You don't know how to play the game.
What? What? Is a talking to me? Is a female talking to me? Am I? No. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Oh, wait, time out. Is a female talking to me right now? Is a female talking to me? You know, game and do your husband dishes.
It's hard to make a causal connection between Speed's mom giving him an ultimatum to get out of her house if he doesn't stop doing what he's doing, and Speed espousing this level of misogyny. If Speed was growing up off of online Fortnite lobbies, he's probably heard worse. There's many men with mothers in their lives that end up misogynist. Some can even argue that Speed seeing his dad leave his mom may make him resent his mom, insofar as ascribing blame to her in regards to his dad not being there. Who knows what his dad's household was like once he got in his care? We can only armchair shrink the situation so much. But what is clear is that Speed merged these different content strategies, because keep in mind, misogyny is a strategy. Again, misogyny is a bonding practice. So if you know you have an audience of boys that capitalism encourages you to build a parasocial relationship with, a surefire way into building a deep vertical relationship with a bunch of boys, misogyny is a good bet. But bigotry of one is bigotry of all, because you would also notice that he hurls racial epithets, also calling the guy a monkey, exactly, which ironically would be the very racial remarks hurled at him himself. Bringing me to this clip. More racism in Serbia towards Speed. The irony is almost poetic, because the very monkey sounds that he would make, the very barking sounds that he would make, are now being made to him around the world. Even if he gets outside of the United States, even if he leaves that persona behind, it comes back to find him. He can't escape what he has built. These particular things are beyond just monkey chants and chimpings and barking. This has tangible dangers. IShowSpeed travels to Slovakia and gets rocks thrown at him.
Piss me off, bro. Do that. Who gets do that? What happened? What happened, Speed? What happened? What happened?
This is so dystopian. Speed is very much like how he did in this clip, where he performed a level of outrage, is also performing a level of outrage right here. He just had a rock thrown at him. And then you have a news person. I could see like the microphone right here. You have a news guy saying, Speed, what happened? He is putting himself in a position where he endures dangerous racism, and then he performs a reaction. And you can't tell me that he doesn't have a team around him. There has to be a directive where he subscribes to a level of racism or a level of harassment being done to him. Exactly, Shmoji. It's a part of the content.
Who gets do that? What happened? What happened, Speed? What happened? What happened? Four punches in my shoulder. Speed, man. Speed. To the car. Speed, please.
If the talent gets a rock thrown at him, cameras are off, stream is done. This is no longer content. I am now in danger. But what I'm seeing here is that the cameras not only point to the ground just in case some shit happens, because you don't know if this thing is getting shot or something, you don't know if something is happening or if this is an attack. But cameras go to the danger. They follow the danger. Violent racism is in the content. His pain is the conflict. Cameras keep rolling. Chat is still going. And he is in character still. This don't sound like the same dude that was making noise here. If I getting hit with a rock, what else you can hit me with? I don't know what's coming next. So I gone. If y'all evangelical extremist white men with platforms, what y'all gonna do to my black ass? Oh God. This dude is a method actor because he's still in character.
I need this. Speed, I need this.
If it's staged, it's even worse. If there's a reality of which a team got together and he was present and he knew about this and he consented to being stoned in front of thousands as a black man in 2025 under a Trump presidency and a global conservative shift, this is a perfect example of how playing into a dehumanizing role where it's popular to be racist and to troll you, this exemplifies how it ends up creating tangible harm, not only for Speed, but any person who may be consuming this, and even for those who don't. One of my favorite parenting books, Hunt, Gather, Parent, one of the biggest takeaways from this book is to practice, model, acknowledge. So basically you teach a child how to act by modeling the behavior. You mop the floor while the child watches. Then you practice the behavior with the child. Then you acknowledge the behavior when the child does it correctly. And it's not like no praise, just a head nod. You don't want to even incentivize it by giving them treats. Speed is essentially doing practice, model, acknowledge. He's essentially doing this at scale with the many white children who may not have any references to to black kids beyond Speed. You could imagine a white kid that ain't never see a black man or a black boy only watching Speed and watching Kai and God forbid DDG. Even worse, he's teaching black boys. Speed is teaching black boys that somehow get into his audience what is permissible and how to respond to it. So violence is done to you, you rampage around like a wild banshee, a gorilla in a cage, barking, who did that? Who did that? Again, to quote parental pedagogy, because being a dad is what I do most of the time nowadays, the last thing you want to do when your child exhibits undesirable behavior is to meet them with high energy, because all a child could do is recognize that it got attention. The best thing to do is to ignore that behavior. So if you take into account a lot of these adults even are emotionally still children, these rules still apply. I understand a reaction of pain, but my reaction isn't then to stoke the flames of what just happened to me by going into the crowd where the stone just came from. No. I go on. Bodyguards who I pay an obscene amount of money to travel around the world with me, all expenses paid, you all figure this shit out. These are the tangible dangers of playing into this role. So Speed is having a moment of racism. Speed is a black man who is being racially harassed in a foreign country. You have his bodyguards whose sole job is to protect him. The bodyguard doesn't see racism as harm. This is a problem that a lot of, unfortunately, white people have a problem with, but I guess in this case, even black people have a problem with, which is that some white people need to see or hear the word nigger in order to say or admit that racism is happening. White people be needing to see black blood torrentially rain through the streets in order to maybe capitulate that there is a problem with racism. Racism at best is a warning shot for what's to come. And anytime when you see racism or hear racism, understand that that is a dehumanization tactic. And what can you do to someone that you dehumanize? If you dehumanize something, you are rendering them not human. What is not human can be property. What happens to property? Anything you want to. That's why it's not just a word. That's why when your random anime profile picture on Twitter or X says it's just a word, it doesn't matter if they put their hands on me as something different, just wait on it. If you have people dehumanizing you and the N-word, or in this case, barking or chimping at a black man in front of an audience, mind you, that is dehumanization. And if you can say that I'm not a human, that means that you can do whatever you want to me. And they are not only allowing it, but they're filming it. They're turning it into content. Speed has this performative outrage to racism. When Speed encounters racism towards him, he confronts it in a commodifiable way. His reaction was a performance to exactly. If you put some strings behind this, this is the canon event that creates the black villain. He understands moments. He understands beats. Stanislavskian pauses. He's an actor. He is letting it happen. He's having them film it, and then he does a performative walk away. Now, the nuance is that the onus of the racism isn't on the black person. I'm not blaming Speed for people being racist towards him. The onus is on the racist. However, Speed reacts to the racism in a way that is entertaining, not educating. And there's argument from Fanon that you as a black person do not need to convince Caucasian people of the value of your race. For me to educate you as a white person on the value of my humanity, I am enhancing you. I am augmenting your understanding of the human condition. I am helping you. I am doing you a favor. For you, a white person, to understand my value as a black person, you're not doing me a favor. That is my labor. I am freeing you from the neuroses of racism and harboring you into a world where you experience everything that bigotry prevents you from seeing. Everything that racism and subscribing to a myopic view of what people can be, everything that is stolen from you. So Speed doesn't need to necessarily have a PBS special every time someone chimps or barks at him. But if he wasn't interested in actually commodifying this as content, then he wouldn't give them access to his audience in this moment. By giving them access to him via racism and then broadcasting that to hundreds of thousands of people, he ultimately has created a trend of racism. If Speed announces a world tour, that means that any kid, any adult can prepare to see Speed, and they know that if they bark at him, there's a chance that Speed may farm content out of them. We've seen people be racist into success. We've seen white women call black children niggas and then get GoFundMes for more money than many of our families will ever see. Being racist is a retirement plan, and Speed is giving them an opportunity, a stage to be catapulted into racist fame. There are some folks that might say that this is a young black boy, doesn't know what he's doing, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge how infantilizing that is. Because I've seen so many people engage with it in a way of which they think that Speed is impregnable to criticism. Speed is young and spent a lot of his younger years in front of a camera. I want to hold space for Speed for having the capacity to grow. That said, I don't like it when folks infantilize a black man. People ascribe intelligence to age. You got very intelligent youths and imbecilic aged folks. Age is not equal intelligence. Moreover, the assumption that a black man does not know better not only infringes upon his autonomy, but also introduces to this long-standing prejudice that black people aren't able to advocate for themselves. He ain't fall off a tree into the lap of luxury and success. To get where he got, you gotta be somewhat shrewd. And Speed has shown that he is very capable of being cunning when he needs to be. 'Cause it's too cold for you here and now, so let me hold. Put your hands in the holes of my sweater. Grammy. He's very much aware of his surroundings, and that the cameraman was zoomed in on the woman's crotch and she's in a skirt. You know, there ain't no modesty pillow there. And whether he was doing that altruistically or because he would be infringing upon his terms and conditions with YouTube, that's up for speculation. However, he's a lot smarter than he lets people believe. He also knew exactly what he was doing when he pushed a whole crypto scam on people. Throwback, when IShowSpeed promoted a scam crypto coin.
Paradox crypto to the moon. Paradox crypto to the moon.
You sold out. They're using you, Speed. This is just sad.
That is crazy, bro. Like, them comments like that, bro, is making me like, that's crazy, bro. The fact y'all ever make me, like, the fact that y'all y'all just thinking me like that is just crazy. I hate that, bro. Y'all so weird, bro.
And he pushed it onto an impressionable audience of young kids in general. He was aware of this. Speed has no problem exposing his audience to dangerous scams, to virulent racism, which I am sure his community is full of, which is exactly the reason why he doesn't have any problem with debasing his own self. So why should he care about anybody else? As long as he's getting paid at the end of the day, he'll take the check, whoever signs it. Someone pranked Speed with a fake Louis Vuitton gift and opened the box and found a banana inside it.
Louis Vuitton? Yeah, brother. Open it.
Hey, man. And that's how you know this is performative. Look closely at this. He's so outraged that he has to wait to get the microphone before he could give the person that gave him a whole Louis Vuitton banana. He has to get the mic so they could hear, so his stream could hear what he has to say to them.
Hey, man. Hey, come here. Nah, come here. What the f?
I was joking.
What the f, man?
I was joking, brother. Bro, I lost the wallet, bro. I need to put something.
What the f is
wrong with this dude?
It's all a performance. He needs to get the clip, no matter if it means degrading himself and his entire race in the process. China is mad racist.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Wait, guys.
You're gonna love it. Come here, mother.
Speed's colorblind liberalism allows him access to fame at the expense of his blackness. Because notice like the confusion. In this clip, he would ask, what's wrong with this person? In all of these clips, when he's engaging with racism, he acts as though he doesn't understand that there is racism happening right now to him. He thinks that something is wrong with the person. And that's because he has to subscribe to an idea of colorblind liberalism. While racism is a bonding practice between white folks, black people can become deputy whites if they subscribe to seeing no color. Because then the black person can bond with the white man over the racism that affects him. So Speed can only react in a way that addresses the outrageousness of the situation, but he can't call it what it is. Because once you talk about race, once you talk about the racism, it's then political.
Sabina, do you love this dress? How do you think of this dress? Darren, you love it? Can I have it? I take this photo for you.
Larry.
Bro, you told me it was some Travis Scott's in there.
You have a bunch of people being racist towards him, and he plays into it. If it's staged, it's even worse, because that means that a team got together in a boardroom with him present, hopefully, and decided that this was a good idea. That's worse than it just being like in the moment racism. No, that is premeditated racism. Oh God. That is worse. That is dystopian. Knowing that this person is coming to your country, and instead of you trying to find a way how to welcome them well, you're saying, I am going to make a plan to be racist towards them. If it's just on the behalf of them. If it's on the behalf of Speed and his team, you have multi-continental racism. Oh God. You have a team in America saying, hey, we're gonna give you a package with a banana in it, and you're gonna give it to Speed, and it's gonna do a whole thing, and we're gonna film it to the tune of thousands of people. That's worse. That's an organized, systemic level of continental premeditated racism. That's a sentence I ain't never said before in my life. Speaking of which, let me read the caption for you. Speed had a crowd of people fighting for a spot to watch him eat fried chicken. This just happened. For the folks that are saying maybe he grew up out of this just happened. This just happened like this week or last week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You a drinking man? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see niggas in the crowd. I can't take this.
Well, I know a few speakeasies around town. We're gonna go. We're gonna go take a little tour and show you some of those speakeasies.
Okay, let's go. Let's go, bro.
What do you know about Chicago?
It's happened in Chicago. This man goes on fried chicken eating tours. IShowSpeed tried the famous Guatemalan fried chicken from Pollo Campero.
Pollo Campero.
Good?
Bro.
Yeah. Yes. The better. Better than KFC?
The best chicken in the world.
Best chicken in the world. Good? For real.
This makes a black man so proud.
Do you hear the shit? Oh, niggas say, this makes a black man so proud. Civil rights down.
This makes a black man so proud. Yo, bro, no.
What?
Who be seasoning this chicken? Who seasoned this? Why is it so good?
Hey, translate.
Why is it so good?
Not translate. This nigga minstrelsing himself for folks that don't even understand English. This nigga exporting minstrelsy. He ain't no different right now than Big Groove them. He ain't no different from him. Shut up. Count your calories. I never look good in mom jeans. Wish I was like you, blue-eyed blondie, perfect body. Oh God, no man. Oh God. It's getting a little bit too much actually. IShowSpeed pelted with bananas from Slovenian fans. Oh God. Y'all can't be saying the same thing I saying right now, bro. Y'all can't be saying this shit. Jesus Christ, bro. This nigga getting bananas thrown at him by a bunch of white kids and eating them dogs.
What is break?
Let me get my phone.
Racism is the real lingua franca. It is a universally acceptable form of language. Niggas that don't even know English know how to be racist. It's important to understand that this is the price of what it is to be one of the largest black streamers in the world. This is what it takes. You have to minstrel yourself. And even if you try to escape it by being talented in athleticism, even if you try to escape it by being entertaining, even if you try to do all of these different things, it does not matter, because there is a demographic. And as you've seen, that demographic is wide. In multiple languages, this man has endured racism in multiple time zones, continents. He is the recipient of anti-blackness at a universal scale. As you've seen, he has done the same thing from the beginning to the end. You've seen him minstrel himself in his bedroom in a desktop stream with only a couple thousand viewers, and now you've seen him at the top of streaming still minstrel sing himself. Millions of dollars at what cost? All these YouTube plaques, millions of subscribers at what cost? If they call you out your name, if they throw bananas at you and rocks at you, and most importantly, the biggest casualty of this are the black people that mind in their own business. All of us endure the effects of our race because of the fact that black people have been robbed of individuality. All black people are seen as representatives, ambassadors of blackness. Because of that very reality, the actions of one ascribes effects to all of us. If one black person does one thing, that is used as weapons against the entirety of the community.